Beep beep, what is up ninjas? My name is Samrold and a lot of you guys have been requesting this for quite some time now. So today we're going to be looking at how to make Retrovision style leads, and this is going to be the Sound of Retrovision. Now the Sound of Retrovision reminds me of this artist I used to like way back in the day. I think that he went by the name of K something, some numbers, so I'm sure I'll put it here. And his music reminds me of the music that you find a lot in the compilation videos of fails and of People Are Awesome and vice versa. Now the Retrovision sound is very analog based, so in order to achieve the sound we're going to be using a very good subtractive synthesizer. And which one else will we use other than the boy Silent One? Now Silent One is going to give us access to the wavetables that we need, which are the classic ones like the saw, the square, the H-pose, the triangle, the sine, and so forth. Now for the majority of the Retrovision leads, we are going to be just utilizing saws and squares in order to achieve them. And the key thing here, guys, is to be very simple with it. Worry more about the tonality and don't try and act like more is better here, because honestly less is better. Just know what you're doing and we will be able to achieve it. And I'm going to be giving you guys some tips in order to achieve a lot of the leads he uses. So for the first lead, we're going to be using a saw, and this is going to be a very standard lead that you can hear in some other songs like the Sonderling Tunnel Vision sound and vice versa. And what we're going to do with the saw, guys, very basically, we're just going to put a low pass filter on it and we're going to have a mod envelope, modulation envelope, open it up. Now if you ever wondered what modulation envelopes were for, guys, just think of them as your slaves. You're going to
Shorty, turn off the switch.
Just kidding there, but you're gonna tell them what to do. So instance, you could route them to various parameters in Silent One, and you're gonna tell it to either change this knob to the right, to the left, and vice versa, as you're gonna see here. After you've shaped the sound, after you have the tonality of it, the rest is very simple. You can add a bit of distortion to saturate the sound, get more higher harmonics in there to get it to kind of cut a little bit more, but keep it very simple. Add a hint of reverb, maybe a bit of EQ, and you should be done. And if you want to add extra, you can always try and mess with the chorus as well. Now the other thing we could do, guys, is also go with the same route we did. Use a saw, a very standard saw, and then use another saw in oscillator A2. Now here we want to do kind of like the old analog way, where we're going to have one voice in each oscillator and we're going to detune manually. Instead of using that detunement knob there, we're going to detune manually so that we can get a very kind of analog-ish type of detunement that sounds a lot better when you do it this way, in my opinion, through Silent One. The next thing we could do, guys, is put a bandpass. Now the bandpass is literally going to be a low pass and a high pass put together, and it kind of gives you a shape like this. Now picture this is a frequency in my head, and my head is, I don't know, 200 hertz or something, let's just say. It doesn't really matter. This frequency is going to get accentuated while everything around it kind of gets reduced, so it's kind of like you're focusing in on it. This gives a very nice tonality to the sound, and it will allow you to create very nice Retrovision style leads. The other thing a lot of people don't know as well is that the phaser can actually be used to give a sort of retro vibe to things per se. For instance, if you lower the LFO gain and the LFO rate down and you use it at a very high wet value, you can easily move the center frequency around and you're gonna get different tonalities, different tones out of the sound. So if you're looking more for a closed tone, you might go, let's say 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock, while if you're looking more for an open tone that kind of gives a hint of a tone but it's still a little bit of a phaser vibe, then you could kind of go into higher values there. Another cool technique that you could use to make Retrovision style leads, guys, is the use of, I guess we would say, phase modulation. Pretty much is an effect that I first heard in the song Nicky Romero, I Could Be the One to Make You Feel That Way, which sounds like this. It's like something is moving in the sound, and in order to achieve this effect, we're gonna have to use an LFO being routed to, let's say, the phase or the pitch of a sound, and then we're gonna use an envelope to increase the rate the longer we held down the note. Another cool sound that Retrovision tends to have is going to be the future-based chords in a new kind of way, a simpler way. And the way we're going to be doing this, again, is very similar, using a low pass and using the same method we did in the first sound, but we're just going to be playing chords instead. And I'll show you guys some cool ways inside the DAW on how to achieve cooler sounds out of it as well. Now guys, I also didn't want to leave you empty-handed. Now, one last thing I will say, when making leads, you can go with squares as well. And use the same features we did in the previous sounds to get a different tonality. But the last thing I wanted to show, guys, is that also if you want very driven leads, remember just to have one voice and always leave the retrig on. Distortion is an ally here as well. And now, some of Retrovision sounds tend to hit, so if you want the sound to hit, you're going to have to route a pitch A and B, or pitch A only to the right, a bit of decay like so. He also tends to use vocal style leads, which, I have various other videos that you guys could watch on how to sample vocal samples to make leads like that. The last thing I do want to say is you can reverse this as well. Make a sub. And you can add more voices, detune. Let's add the last poly. And then also the last thing also is if you want a very gritty sound, you can always add an LFO with a very fast modulation rate. Or phase A and B. So just some ideas there, guys, and hopefully this helps you make Retrovision style leads. With that being said, guys, this has been Retrovision Leads. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this format, and hopefully it helps you guys in achieving those style of leads. If you guys ever want to support the channel, guys, you guys can go over to evilsounds.com. And if you're looking for anything close to Retrovision, I do have a sample pack, sound bank, and project files in the style of hexagon music, which you can find called Hexagon Revolution. It's an amazing pack. I worked with another fellow YouTuber on it by the name of Sticks, and I believe if this is the sound you want, you're gonna find it in that pack with extra sounds added that you could possibly make your own unique sounds with. With that being said, ninjas, you guys take care and you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Peace out.